We are live, officially live. Welcome to another edition of 24 Floors Up podcast. We got a really exciting pod today. Before we do that, let's go around the table and introduce ourselves again. We're here with Jerry Manicra, D-Man Training Technologies. Then we have Gary Dennis, Managing Partner of Unbiased Data. We have Ron Schutz and Jason Lee of Smart Group. Have that right, gentlemen?
Yes. It's two companies. He's with Smart Group. I'm the founder of Ron Schutz, Planning Business Transitions.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I got to tell you guys that Ron and Jason, we appreciate you guys coming. Ron has some very interesting things to talk to us about, some books, a couple of websites, and really excited to talk about the data piece that he told me about earlier today. And obviously, as you know, a lot of the podcast has to do with digital transformation, so we're excited to talk about that as well.
We have a disclaimer to put in.
Oh, yes. So before we move further, we have a very important announcement to make. Patrick, you want to read that, please, out?
Sure. Gentlemen, let me know if I have this right. Securities and Investment Advisory Services.
Hold on just a second. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to ask you to say that again.
Take two?
Yeah, take two on that. Yeah.
Raw video. Securities and Investment Advisory Services offered through World Equity Group, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
That's perfect.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. There's a reason that we have to read that out, and we're going to read it out again in between and then towards the end of the program broadcast as well. And once you hear what we're talking about, you're going to see why we had to read it out. So, gentlemen, welcome. And could you just introduce yourselves to us, please, and introduce yourselves to the audience?
All right, I'm Jason Lee. I've been with Smart Group Houston, Ron Schutz Business Transitions for about 10 months now. I have a multi-unit experience in the wellness industry, a little bit of time in the financial services industry before. I am a licensed security registered investment, or work for the registered investment advisory firm that we work for. We also carry an investment banking license, CPA license in-house. We don't do taxes, but do tax strategy. But I'm predominantly focused on acquisition of new clients and client services, taking care of the clients that we have. I do carry all of my securities license, so I can't help individuals with that, but we have a pretty comprehensive approach to helping folks. So, and then Ron is the brains behind delivering our services and our products for our clients.
Okay. Ron, if you tell us about yourself, please, and what you do.
Well, I've been in the securities business and financial services for over 50 years.
Wow. Okay.
I wrote my master's thesis on motivating factors in the purchase of life insurance because the industry interested me. And about 25 years ago, opened an independent firm, which means we're not beholden to anybody but the client.
Very nice.
So we act as the interface between all the different choices out there. And then within the firm, I specialize with entrepreneurs who are trying to either grow their business or transition it to somebody because they've achieved what they define as financial success.
I see. Okay. So the 25 years that you've had the location open or your business open, has it been here in Houston?
Been in Houston 39 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So that's quite a tenure here.
I'm ancient.
Yeah. I was going to use the word experienced, but okay, whichever goes. But
all of my children are probably older than you guys.
Okay.
Maybe not quite. I got one younger than you. Jason.
I'm the
How many children do you have?
Four.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are they all native Texans?
Just one.
Just one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting background though, nuclear engineering, is that right?
I thought I wanted to be, I went to I was at Merchant Marine Academy because it's one of the 5 federal academies, because they had a nuclear reactor.
Wow. Okay.
And so we could really practice things. And I had really fabulous instructors or professors. I think that makes a difference in any time. I don't care what the subject matter is.
Amen. I agree with you 100%.
And it was just easy. It was simple. And I just said, I don't think I want to have a simple life. So after I got out of school, undergraduate in engineering, I went to Stevens Institute of Technology. They had a 1-week battery of tests. They said, you ought to go into finance, you ought to get an MBA, you'll probably do very well, you understand banking, and that's what I did.
Wow.
And here I am,
Okay.
still standing, walking and talking.
All right.
Here,
Well,
here.
that's interesting. I don't think I've ever heard that before. I've heard lots of engineers going into MBA, but then it's, again, in the engineering path, doing something with construction or, some sort of development within the manufacturing world. But first time I'm hearing it in finance, so that's awesome.
And a book as well, right?
Yeah, it was, I like to write. So my third book is called American Fathers, and it's a tribute to entrepreneurs like yourself.
Sure.
Hey, guys, thanks for joining. Oh, I guess they couldn't see what was going on here, so here we go.
What is all these?
Yeah, there you go. Thanks for joining, guys, sorry.
We got some viewers now?
Yes.
All right, you guys are on stage now.
Yeah.
You were telling us about your book?
Yeah, it's a compilation of stories that I've run across with business owners and struggles. I mean, we've all had to struggle. Most business owners or entrepreneurs don't want to be told what to do.
Right.
Is that an honest statement? But the sacrifice that we take for that is that nobody's telling us what to do. So we got to decide who's going to hold us accountable. And it's just a story of the struggle. I had my hero of the book graduate from UT. I hope sorry.
Oh, it's okay, I'll let that one slide.
Dig 'em.
You're outnumbered.
He was an immigrant, so, because I really believe, we're all immigrants if you think about it.
Right.
And
Unless you're a native.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you saw how the government took care of the natives.
Yeah.
It's a whole other story, right?
Yeah,
More beer.
Exactly, yeah.
So, it's just got pointers and advice and hopefully encouragement. It's done in parable form.
What's the name of the book again?
American Fathers.
American Fathers. All right, guys, so American Fathers, we're going to put a link to the book in the descriptions and also in the recorded cast.
And that's on Amazon, is that right?
Yeah, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, any of the major.
Excellent.
It was my third book, and it got picked up by a New York publisher, which I found out afterwards is they only take about 1% of the manuscripts. The other two I self-published.
Okay.
And they were targeted for specific audiences. This one I wrote for the people who either have an entrepreneurial bent or who are thinking about being business owners. And I want them to understand the sacrifices you got to take.
Sure. Now, would you also say this might be directed towards children as well? In the book, I read a couple of your pages on the Amazon page.
Oh, okay.
The main character, Sasha, is a young man.
Yep.
And part of the story and tell me if I'm not getting this right, that his parents, or his biological father, taught him basic tenets of entrepreneurship as an immigrant.
Yeah.
So would that also be your target audience?
Yeah. Yeah. And obviously I write it, I have several grandchildren. Hopefully someday as they get a little bit older, they're not quite old enough yet, I think, to grasp all this. So say, tell us about our grandfather. I never knew my grandparents. They all died before I was born. So I have a heart for that. Grandchildren are the rewards you get for having children. So I wrote it for the grandchildren to just let them have a sense of what is important to me.
Wow.
And people that know me really well said, I can see your voice in there, I know which character you are, and
Okay.
that kind of stuff, so.
It's a way to keep your legacy going.
Yeah.
For your
Yeah.
grandkids.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And really, my goal was to help business owners not get discouraged. Think about it, it's lonely.
Yes,
What you're trying to do here is fabulous.
thank you.
Didn't have any of that when I was coming along. We just went in the corner with tissues and cried.
We were actually working on some content for MBA for a Day that Gary's hosting later on in the month.
Right.
And as we were working on it, we were telling some entrepreneurial stories that we want to integrate into the presentation. And part of our team, Adela, who's on our team, she has a teenage son.
Okay.
And his goal is to become an entrepreneur, a business owner. And it was just unique getting to hear her say how she's applying and helping educate him through some of the principles in the book.
Oh, very nice. Okay.
So she takes copious notes when he's talking about things, because then she takes it back to her own son to say, hey, we're gonna, he's constantly feeding him knowledge.
Oh, that's
Teaching him
Yeah, I
about
just
he's ready to
hired,
start his own business, doing, yard work and things of that nature. So
I had one of those when I was about 12.
Yeah, there you go.
yeah, I just hired her son for one little project. to see how it goes.
Okay,
But I'm gonna let him negotiate what he thinks his time is worth.
there you go,
So
right,
I'm trying to teach him a lesson.
Right.
She's a widow, so,
okay.
he doesn't have a male of influence in his life. So I guess maybe I'm gonna have a little influence, as will Jason and the
That's
rest of
good.
us.
Yeah, it's interesting on that same topic about entrepreneurship and grandkids and children. So with MBA in a Day, 10% of the proceeds are actually going to the charity Lemonade Day.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, I'm familiar with
That's
that.
that's when we asked about the children, because the Lemonade Day, we had a guest on, a representative from them on a couple of pods ago.
Yep.
Right.
It's teaching the values of entrepreneurship to children through lemonade stands and how to finance it,
Yeah.
how to build it, how to market it, all these things. And Gary, you mentioned MBA in a Day. Can you tell us a little bit about that? And then I'd like to hear about what you're going to be talking to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. So the idea came from, so after I finished my MBA and investing that time in the evenings, being away from family, plus the expense associated with it can be pretty extensive. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't have the time or resources to pursue their MBA. So MBA in a Day is a way to give back and share some of that business knowledge with others in the community, and then also do something good and give 10%, not that it's not good to begin with, but to do some added value to it is to give 10% of away to charity. And so the charity for August is Lemonade Day. And so we have consultants from around the Houston area that are coming together for this event. They're going to be presenting on a topic that they're experts in, and so it's a great opportunity for you to take time out on a Friday to go and do some continuing education and learn some of these. They're trending business topics. So if you look at data analytics, digital transformation, digital marketing, digital selling, and then of course you can't have any business without understanding the financial side of the business, and that's where Smart Group Houston comes in. And so it's going to be an exciting event. It's a lot of fun, but it's an exclusive event. It's not a big venue. We're only accepting 40 people to the event because we wanted to have that type of atmosphere to where it can be engaging and not be like a massive conference. Now, if you're interested in a conference, there is a conference coming up that might be useful to you, and that's digitalsellingconference.com, which is actually a co-collaborator here with this podcast. But this is a different type of event, but the idea is for you to learn a lot from it.
I was just going to say, and if anybody's interested in joining, they need to sign up soon because seats are filling up.
Yeah, they are. I mean, we get a few registrants every other day or so, and so they're filling up pretty quick. So yeah, if you're going to get on that, and price is going to go up too, probably starting next week, just because we are filling up.
That's fantastic. Now, you said that you're going to have charity for August. Does that now mean that you're going to have a monthly occurrence of this MBA in a Day?
Yeah, that's the intent, is to have a reoccurring MBA in a Day where we can give 10% away to each charity, to a different charity each month. In some cases, it could be the same charity. We're not limiting ourselves, but the idea is to give 10% away to charity each month. So that's the idea behind it.
Socially responsible.
We have to be, right? It's not just business; it's personal too. It's helping people.
I want to leave a legacy.
Well, we were talking about the Digital Selling Conference. Patrick, if you don't mind, Digital Selling Conference is one of the sponsors of this podcast as well, and Patrick is representing. And is it actually focused on you? Yeah, so Patrick, if you could tell us a little bit about digitalsellingconference.com.
Sure. So basically, digitalsellingconference.com is the website, and we have the channels on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, and let me know if I'm missing anything. I think I got it all. It all revolves around the concept of the changing nature of the way people buy, research, and eventually purchase products or services or experiences. One of the new things. This is the experience economy. And what the goal is to provide a platform for sales folks and marketing folks as well to come together and learn from thought leaders and experts on how to more actively be educated and engage with the customer or the consumer along the way as they make that purchase. There's a stat that says 67% of the customer journey is now all online.
Online, right.
Right, so
Right.
the sales representative, the salesperson needs to be educated about how to now get up to date about how to approach the prospects and the clients. So that's the goal here is, and it's going to be on one day. It's going to be February 15th, 2019 in Galveston, Texas at the San Luis Resort and Conference Center. I think I said that right. They said that we needed to make sure we said that appropriately in the contract that we looked at the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm from Channelview, I probably,
It's gonna be
probably said
pronounced
it wrong.
exactly the
Yeah.
way.
You need to get a card like that.
Anyway, so it's going to be February 15th, 2019 in Galveston at the San Luis Resort and Conference Center. And it's going to be from about 8:30 to about 8 o'clock in the evening. And there's going to be 10 different thought leaders and experts across the day where
That's
the
great.
attendees will be able to come and engage and network and learn and be able to apply that to their to whatever clients and prospects they're pursuing, so that we can increase conversions and transform their company and their goals from a digital perspective.
There's going to be a networking happy hour at the end.
That's right. That's right.
All right.
So it's going to be again from about 8:30 to 5 is the speakers. And there's going to be a lunch and a breakfast at the beginning, and then from about 6 to 9, 10, we'll see what happens.
Right.
So maybe I can get Ron to go ahead and book us a couple of rooms for the education purposes.
Actually, we have some discounted rates for
There
you
we
guys
go.
if you
Yeah,
want to
'cause that's-
participate.
It's interesting that you guys would talk about the digital, platform and the change, because in the securities industry, it's a slippery slope because of the amount of, regulation and things that I've observed. You have to go through a lot of steps and process to go out there and put your information out there. But the thing that I've uncovered that I think is so significant in the last 10 months that I've kind of adapted to it is you don't necessarily have to go out there and present your business. You have to go out there and present your brand and who you are.
Very good point.
From a, and identify with people. And here recently, just by trying to model that, there's been some people who've really set a good example. It's been able to really make an impact as far as some of the traffic I'm starting to see in LinkedIn without having to go through securities information at all. We're not talking about investments. We're not talking. We're talking about day in and day out problems people are challenged with, but it's driving engagement. I think the end result is engagement. So I'd be intrigued to go check out that conference and really hear what those guys have to say.
Sure.
Especially with Ron, that way we can get the rooms, because I really want to stay at the San Luis as well.
All right.
It's
Oh, there
a
you go.
wonderful place.
It's a beautiful one. And after Harvey, they put a big chunk of money into renovating it, so it's fabulous now.
Yeah, my family and I are gonna try to make a weekend out of it. You
Yeah.
might as well, if you're,
This
Well,
one's
it's
great.
Valentine's weekend.
That's
so-
right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Good move.
Conference.
Guys are smart.
What's that on our first pod? We're gonna have a love-in with digital selling on.
Can I loop back on one quick thing though?
Sure, please,
You hit me
please do.
on a question about, I think you're on children.
All right, if you could just hold that thought real quick, just want to take a pause for station identification. This is the podcast 24 Floors Up, 24 Floors Up Consulting Podcast. And we're here with guests, Jason Lee and Ron Schutz. And Ron, you were just going to give us a thought.
Well, one of you, I think it was Patrick, that said, "Is this book, how does this book be for children?" And I've really been thinking about that because no one's ever asked me that question. I'd say if they're in high school, they could probably grasp it.
Awesome.
And it's a great story. I like books. I was on vacation for 3 weeks in July. I read 6 books in 3 weeks. I like to read, but I like books that you want to.
that you wanna read, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the ones that you read a page and you take an hour going, what did he say?
Sure.
Well,
That's tough.
That's when you know
he
you can
mentioned
do it.
Experience Economy. I picked up that book, and my God, I still haven't finished that book. It was written by 2 Harvard lecturers or
Oh,
professors.
goodness.
I can't remember what it was, but it was explaining the Experience Economy.
Mhm.
And I've started that book about 4 or 5 times, and I've gotten past midway, but I just, I can't.
That's more of a academician type of an approach, and it's like, wait a minute, this is real world we're living in.
Right.
Yeah, in some books, you're like, just get to the point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Get to the, I mean, and they say the same thing over and over again.
It's too much fluff.
Yeah,
Now,
exactly.
with your book, with the way you described it, and I'm looking forward to reading it, is reminiscent of a book called The Richest Man in Babylon. It was written as in a parable style, so is that kind of what you're
Yeah, same idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, very interesting.
Yeah.
That's a great.
Stories are much
Yeah.
easier for people to connect with.
Right.
In other books that I've written for different targets, people have actually come up to me and said, "Was that me in there?" I know you inspired me, but no, it wasn't you. But it's good that they could see the connection, because people relate to a particular character or a group of characters.
Right.
And-
Right.
And we've had some new people join, so could we say the name of the book again?
Oh, American Fathers.
American Fathers on Amazon. If you're looking for something to do over the weekend,
Or Barnes and Noble.
or Barnes and Noble, there you go.
So we have Ron Schutz, author and entrepreneur, and it's his book, American Fathers. So, hey Mark, thanks for joining. Scott, Brett, Catherine, and Matt, thanks guys for joining us.
And if you guys have any
Raul,
questions,
cheers.
if you have any questions, feel free to, interrupt you there.
Oh, not at all, please do.
Yeah, I mean,
Mark Christopher?
Yes.
We got Mark Christopher on.
there you go.
Right,
Any questions? Smart Group Houston, Wealth Advisory, is that probably the right way to describe
Well, we
it?
do both investment advisory, so as far as wealth advisory, but we're also business advisors. So Ron and with George and Gail from our practice carry our investment banking license, so we're very, we have a very inclusive way to help take a look at the business. I think it's probably a game changer for our group, is that our ability to come in and identify not only the value of the business, but how to increase the value of the business. Because we realize it plays probably 70 to 80% of a business owner's portfolio is tied in to their actual value of their business. So we're one of the few people who bridges the gaps between, your financial wealth or your personal wealth and your business wealth.
Business wealth.
Because we realize a lot of our clients are having to reach into their personal bank
Right.
to fund their business bank.
Right.
And so we try to help
Especially
bridge that gap
starting
for taxes. And we understand, especially when you're starting out. So if we can get in front of that and help them from making mistakes that cost them money, lost opportunity cost, whether it be through taxes or finding issues, that's our goal, right? If they're bleeding and leaking, that's our objective. So these guys are great at uncovering it.
And that's a good point. So, I mean, our viewers and the people we share this podcast with, their live stream, a lot of them are business owners. So if they're looking for a way to better manage their business, and especially if they don't have venture capital money, definitely talk to Smart Group Houston. And as mentioned earlier, they'll be speaking at MBA in a Day, and MBA in a Day is a full day of business content. If you're looking at starting business, growing your business, or just want some general business knowledge to better, if you could be working for a corporation and you want to, have a better understanding of business in general to help manage your department or your team. MBA in a Day, so they'll be speaking there. If you want to sign up, it's GaryLDennis.com. Click on the online store, and you'll see MBA in a Day right there. Click on it. We are running out of spots. We're only going to hold 40 people in the room because we want it to be an exclusive event to where there's a lot of engagement, interaction, and there's going to be a lot of networking as well.
So Gary, I did want to add while you're in regards to MBA for a day and taking a little time out and slowing down. Sometimes you have to slow down and go fast. And a lot of the people that we deal with on a regular basis are moving so quick because they're wrapped up in their business. I mean, I had a client just this week. Their business is growing exponentially, and a couple of different times she's moved the meeting around, but at the end of the day, when we sat down and took an hour out to kind of evaluate her situation, she was thankful for that moment, because she hadn't stopped she hadn't looked up, looked up, and so, as scary as it sounds to take a day off to go sharpen the saw, I want to congratulate you for understanding the importance of it, because most people won't do it. If you're not doing it probably every month, every quarter, you need to at least slow down, because it gives you a chance to kind of come back and reevaluate your strategy. And our entire business model is built around strategy. I mean, if you don't have a strategy, you're setting yourself up for failure.
Right.
Or you're going to lose money.
Right.
So I think slowing down to to attend your event would be
The
great.
key that entrepreneurs have to realize is they get paid for results.
Right.
Most people want time and effort. I show up, I punch the clock, at the end of the day, I know how much I made.
I get a paycheck.
Yeah, entrepreneurs, and we wake up at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, can't go back to sleep because something's weighing on us, and so we're up for 2 or 3 hours noodling on it.
Right.
But also the flip side of that is that you get results for the clients and the people you're trying to help, and you should be rewarded for that.
Right.
Because the first couple of years as an entrepreneur, I figured I was working for less than minimum wage.
Yes, that's.
It's like, I mean, yes, I'm working 100 hours a week, but you know what I...
Yeah, when you portion it out, you're like, wait a second, that doesn't make sense.
But you have to have a belief in yourself.
Right,
And that's the other side of the coin. You have to have some vision of where you're trying to go. It probably won't turn out to be exactly like you think it's going to be. There's a greater navigator than us
Right.
out there, but if you've got a vision of where how do I know if I want to go to Dallas if I'm just wandering up 45?
Exactly.
So,
Sure.
Exactly.
Sure.
much less getting on 45.
Oh, yeah.
Don't make me think.
Or Galveston on the...
Or, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, a lot of the major topic in our podcast is about digital transformation, and I want to provide a platform for you to talk about your technology piece that you have with your business.
Okay. Profit Picture. Profitpicture.net.
.net.
.net.
Can you explain that a little bit
Yes.
to our audience, what that looks like?
Yes, let's say that all these mugs represent different software for me as a business owner. What happens is we create connectors. Now, again, we use an IT partner because I can barely spell technology. And they connect to them, and then the data goes into a warehouse. And so think of a fork. If I make an inquiry, so we'll make Jason the business owner. I go in, Jason makes an inquiry, goes into the data warehouse. We've written algorithms. George is the techie guy, my partner, on it, and we present it to you visually. So you see information just like this. It's more impactful to see somebody as well as hear somebody. Well, it's also more impactful to be able to see something very quickly.
Definitely.
And because George and I approach it from a experience situation that, gee, we've made mistakes in the past. What could we have been able to see, or how would we have liked to have seen it, or whatever? And we're not actuaries or anything like, or academicians. We're just hardworking folks that want to be able to see problems and identify them, and also to get encouragement. If I'm going in the right direction, hey, this is working. And from at my level, for example, I like to know who are the top 4 or 5 people that Jason and others, there's another gentleman in our office, are working with. So maybe I go out with them and, okay, I'm the founder. Gray hair means something to some people. So,
Right.
same thing for a business owner. If you were able to figure out who are the top 10 people you ought to go see this month so that this quarter is the biggest quarter you've ever had,
Right.
wouldn't that be a help?
Of course.
Work on what's important, not what's urgent.
Right.
And yet what do most business owners do? They work on what's urgent.
Right. It's putting out fires
Yeah.
as opposed to, right.
And
Reactive.
it's extremely nimble because as the business changes, as it evolves, because it's cloud-based and custom to their business, so we're not a one-size-fit-all approach. We come in and do a very detailed discovery process. We find out, how do you communicate to you, and if you're on the operations side and you're on the financial side and you're out there implementing, how do we bring those things together so that you all can all communicate on the same page using the data that we have? And just like Waze works on your phone with predictive algorithms,
Right.
we create predictive
I love
algorithms
Waze.
that help you.
Awesome.
I love it too, right? Except for when it takes me through the hood, but other than that, there's a couple times when I've been driving and I'm like,
Sure.
Waze, we'll never take you through the hood.
Yeah.
So, but we do a good job of making sure that we keep it, but the data's, because if we have data, then we know what
Great
it's.
tagline, we'll never take you through the.
We'll never take it. Yeah. One great example is working, we've got a scope all the way from financials, all the way to helping a group as far as card dealing at.
The gaming business.
Gaming
Okay.
industry, yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Okay.
and how
Yeah, they used to count up.
Working with unbiased data, and we represent 5 countries, 13 languages. And what we're doing is we're helping our clients understand what their clients and their employees really think about their business. So if you're in HR and you want to know why your employees are leaving, or any other issues that could be lingering and affecting your revenue and profit, we're happy to talk to your employees. And we call it unbiased because, believe it or not, when a third party comes in and asks your employees or clients what they think about your business, they're going to get a different answer than if you were to ask them directly, what do you think about my business? So it's that way. It's just human nature. So you think about marriage counselors, doctors, lawyers, they come in, they ask you a question. It's the same way in business. There's actually a radio show that has the same idea. I don't know if you have heard the radio show Second Date Update. It's where these
we listen to that every morning.
Oh, yeah.
So thank God we're not dating.
Exactly. You go on a date with somebody and they never call you back. Why don't they call you back and tell you why don't they want to go on another date? What'd you do wrong, right?
Same thing with customers.
It's people. When the radio station calls them, though, they tell them everything. They tell them exactly why. And it's the same way with business. We come in as a third party and we talk to your employees and clients and say, what is our client doing really well? What do they need to work on? What are some opportunities? What are some threats? And we get a really good understanding of what you're doing well. And then we actually have 2 teams. We have a data analyst team and we have a consultant team. Our data analyst will look at all the data from all the employees and clients we talk to and identify insights in the data. And then although we have consultants that have MBAs and graduate degrees from various universities, our recommendation is going to be based on the data given to us by your client's employees. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. I could go into specifics about our algorithms and that sort of thing and the different markets. But if you're interested, check out unbiaseddata.com. Feel free to send me an email at support@unbiaseddata.com.
And you also have a few social channels that we can find your information on.
Absolutely. And if you don't want to hire a consultant, get my book. It'll be on Amazon here in the next couple weeks. It's the 5 Elements of Strategy, a data-driven approach to strategy. And I'm doing webinars right now that cover the topics in the book. So if you want to learn it yourself and do it yourself, you're welcome to do that as well. But if you want a consultant to do it for you, Unbiased Data.
All right, and our third and final sponsor of the pod is D-Man Training Technology.
Thanks, Patrick. And so D-Man Training, what we focus on is sales training for specifically on the healthcare side, but we're not restricting ourselves. We're open to helping others in other industries as well. And we also provide marketing consulting for customers to help them find their singular voice. Currently, we're focusing a lot on digital selling. The whole digital transformation space is going on, and that's why D-Man Training is a podcast sponsor. So that's a little bit about us. And while I'm speaking, I'm going to talk once again station identification. We're 24 Floors Up Consulting Podcast. And you're joining us. Forgot to mention in the beginning, it is a happy hour, and so you're always welcome to join us. Some of us have other libations. Some of us have chosen to just get water or coffee, but you're always welcome to join us for a virtual drink.
We have fun on this pod.
All right, you were going to say something?
Well, I guess we're kind of running close on time here.
Right, yes.
I know we need to put the disclaimer in at the end.
Right.
I'd like to make one other comment about
Sure.
profit picture. This is something we did not anticipate.
Right.
It is intuitive, and as you more that you use it, the more you learn. So what's happened is the what I call line managers are identifying the problems, because it's designed to be open architecture, and you can slice and dice it any way you want. So normally it's set up for 100-person blocks of people, and the line managers are coming to the owners and saying, I noticed this problem, this is how I fixed it, as opposed to 60 or 90 days later going, whoops, Patrick, what's going on here? Wouldn't it be better if you came to the owner and said, I noticed this last week and this is what I'm doing to correct it? We did not see that added benefit.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, it's really, it's productivity, which is what you're trying to do, and with your stuff, and the same thing with you, and just all of you. I mean, it's just all this whole idea of just communicating and sharing ideas and looking at things differently.
Sure.
So great.
That's profitpicture.net, okay, and we'll have a link available for everybody to take a look at.
And then the disclaimer, I think, was
Right,
for compliance.
Now for the
Compliance,
compliance
guys.
part.
Yeah.
Keep me honest.
For compliance sake, we've got to read a disclaimer once again.
Read the whole thing if you would.
Okay, all right. And again, we have Ron Schutz and Jason Lee from Smart Group Houston. That's smartgrouphouston.com. And again, profitpicture.net, ronschutz.com. And here's our disclaimer. Securities and investment advisory services offered through World Equity Group, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC, a registered investment advisor. Smart Group Houston is not owned or controlled by World Equity Group, Inc. Profit Picture is a registered trademark of Ron Schutz, Planning Business Transitions, LLC. Good?
All right.
You should consider that as a.
Ron can actually do that like 100 miles per hour, like we do the commercials, but we just wanted to see you do it. Traditionally, he's a who to the profit picture, you know, like at the end of the he's got that figured out.
I'm working on my radio voice.
Hey guys, I'd also want to bring up another website. We didn't talk about that, but we did talk about Ron's book, and there's a website for Ron's book, which is ronschutzauthor.com, and we're going to have that link as well available for everybody. I think we're getting on for time, so thank you all for joining. Thanks for joining us, guys, and we're going to say good night and have a fantastic weekend. Thank you all.
Thanks, folks. Y'all have a great weekend.
Thanks, guys, for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.